Hey, welcome to Comics Covered, our weekly show where Matt and I, the co-founders of Cover Price, Matt's not here right now, walk through all the cool stuff that happened in the comic world during the week, what's going on with the website. So I've tried to stall for the last few minutes because Matt is running late, but he's going to be here shortly. So thank you all for spending your Friday with us. JD, Derek, Concrete Sandals, and Cleland, and everyone else watching, thank you so much for joining. So one of the cool things that we like to do, obviously, is as the website evolves, we show different things about the website, what's going on with it. You might have seen recently in the email that we sent out that we've launched something called the Partner Portal. And while we're waiting for Matt, I thought I'd walk you guys through it. So let's see here. So basically, Cover Price is meant for comic collectors, people who are looking for, what's the value of their comic book, valuation, collection management, content, stuff like that. But if you scroll all the way down here to the bottom, you'll notice a little tab that says Partner Portal. So this is kind of cool. This is actually made for like retailers and other, people who are selling comics. And if you click on that and you have a special sign-in, you get taken to this page. So basically, the Partner Portal allows you to see new release and FOCs that come out every single week. We let you see 5 weeks in advance, so current week plus 4 weeks, 3 months in archive, and basically allows people to download an entire list of comic books and put it up onto their storefront. So if any of you are retailers, if any of you sell comics or anything like that, this would be a perfect thing for you guys to reach out to us about. The way it works, again, is you can go in and say, oh, show me all the comics that are number ones, because usually, those are big sellers. You can see if anything's new. So what happens is we generate a CSV file that has all the data that you need to import into your eBay store, your Shopify store, or anything like that. And now you can sell new release comics and FOCs earlier than most people. And the cool thing is we have a data integrity team at Cover Price, and their sole job is to make sure the data coming into the system is accurate. So every single week when you're pulling stuff in from the major distributors and you create a master file before you put it onto like a storefront or whatever, there's a lot of errors. The images might be wrong, release dates, stuff like that. Our team goes in and cleans all of that data and makes sure that everything that is there is good to go and ready. So it's kind of cool. Some people love it because of the FOCs. You can go in and literally see what is selling. Not selling, what you can sell. And like I said, after you download the file, we'll tell you if the release date got pushed. We'll tell you if anything's been updated since you downloaded it last. If there's anything new that was been added. So it's kind of cool. It's just a great way to get everything into your site. So that's the new comic portal from Cover Price. If you happen to know any retailers or are a retailer and you're interested, please let them know about it and reach out. And I see that Matt's joined. So I'm going to bring Matt in. Hey Matt.
Folks.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, it's just the fun of rushing home after driving kids around in the afternoon.
Driving kids around, rushing home.
It's the race against the clock. So.
Well, we're glad you made it. 15 minutes late isn't bad to the start of a show. Not bad.
Hey, this is the first time being late, so you got to take the lumps every now and then. Chucky. I like Chuckle better.
Chuckle's better.
So when's the NYCC list going up? So we are probably going to put that up the Tuesday before New York Comic Con. So a week from Tuesday. But we're debating if we're going to make it an unlimited member only thing for the first 2 days, and then when the con starts on Thursday, it'll be open up to everyone else.
Well, I'm sure everybody here is an unlimited member. Or
everyone here is all good.
So it's like you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, you guys are fine.
It takes the team literally about a month to track that down and everything together. So it's kind of a really heavy and good list. One other thing you need to consider is if you're going to be in New York Comic Con, or if you're not, we're not going to give away too many details, but we're doing a giveaway, which we'll announce next week, where we're going to be probably giving away about $1,000 worth of New York exclusives.
Maybe $1 million worth.
Probably $2 million, if we're being honest.
Let's just keep ramping it up. Yeah, no, we're gonna have we're doing a giveaway stream with eBay Live. They asked us to do one, and we're like, hey, we don't have an account and we don't sell, so but we can give books away, and they're cool with that. And we're gonna give away some T-shirts and hats, and yeah, it'll be fun. So the focus is books that are available at the convention, some of our favorites. I'm trying to source those now, pretty much asking people, hey, can I get a book? So we can give it away. So yeah, if you're missing out on New York Comic Con, it's going to be a great opportunity for you to win that. We're going to try and stream it here, but note that you're going to have to be on eBay to enter. So you won't be able to enter.
The cool thing is we'll talk about it more next week, and we'll do a full announcement, and we'll tell you what we're going to be giving away. But right now we're sourcing all that stuff and doing all the legwork to make a really cool giveaway happen. So
it'll be fun.
If you're at New York Comic Con, you can come live to the giveaway and meet us, and we'll throw out T-shirts, and Matt's going to stage dive. Yeah. And
if you find us, we'll be carrying around T-shirts with us, so you could just tap us on the shoulder. And
I always say Matt likes a big hug from strangers, so just give him a big hug. Just give him a big hug, and that indicates that you get a shirt or a hat.
That's right. I'll have to do the Keanu thing of the no touch, where you just like, you can touch me, I can't touch you.
His hands go up like Matt's just like. Yeah, Matt never touches me anymore. It's horrible. I'm so sorry.
Oh God, what you? I have no comment. No comment.
Hurtful, God. So, Matt, before we jump in, Derek Mangus and some other people had mentioned that there's a bunch of Cowpuncher on the shaker list this week. You want to go into that?
There's a what?
The comic book Cowpuncher, that old Western?
Oh yeah.
What happened there? Why is there so many Cowpunchers?
Here I can take it. I mean, here let's dig into it a little bit. I actually won't be able to see because I turned off my tamper monkey.
By the way, I do love it when you're all dark and mine's all light. Our two images here, it's like the angel and demon of cover price.
Yeah, you're all sunny. I don't know what's going on here. I guess
we literally live in the same state, in like the same county.
Yeah,
not there where you are.
I mean, I have a westward facing window. It should be. I don't see any Cowpuncher.
Maybe it refreshes multiple times. Maybe that was it.
So basically what happens is when we get sales in, heritage sales come in one dump. Like so, a lot of other sites were pulling in throughout the day. But Heritage will send it into one massive pile. I think maybe it's like once a day or something like that. So you'll get this influx of big Heritage sales that will dominate it. So someone obviously went on a tear of buying Cowpuncher. They do have really fantastic covers.
Well, yeah, this is 1947, and look at the art on that. That's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm a Cowpuncher fan. I said it.
Who doesn't love punching cows? Well, but nicely. Today it's inhumane to punch a cow, but
Yeah, you're not allowed to punch cows anymore. But back in the day, there was a lot of cow punching.
Back in the day, that was the thing.
Yeah, Derek, the Daily Shakers update multiple times during the day. Right, Matt? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, so what happens is what we started doing now, the difference between a couple months ago to now is that basically we extended the list. So we're bringing in, we used to cap it at 80 entries. And we're like, that's boring. Why can't we see it all? So we increased it to, I think the limit is $80, just to keep, because after $80 is a whole bunch of more stuff. just to not overtax the system. So we had that limit of $80, and then we also extended, and it would fall off every 24 hours. So a book, and it would refresh the next day. So a book that landed on there this like in the afternoon would just fall off by the morning. So a lot of people were missing some of these fun sales. So we extended it by like I think 36 hours is when they stay up in the system. So they're always like I think 3 or 4 times a day. There's always more new books popping up on the list while some stuff stays off, and then they just exchange out. So there's no longer like this big refresh at the end of the day. It just constantly keeps cycling through all the sales as they come in. Yeah, so it's a fun. He's punched a
cow. And here I filtered the whole list by Golden Age comics. So all the cow punching you want should pop up here. If we have some on the list, here you go, cow puncher. Dude, $552. That's not too.
That's pretty good, yeah.
1947 comic.
I mean, the thing is, there are opportunities in Golden Age to find. You just have to find like what was the grade of that cow puncher? It was
I think it was very fine. No, VG.
Yeah,
very good.
That's probably not a bad. That's probably a good price for that grade. There was a conversation, I think Swaggle House was asking it around Comic-Con, and the question was, why does it seem like he was asking like, some of the retailers in the Gold and Silver Age, and they noticed that it was slow. There wasn't as many people buying books. And so they're asking this question, are comics down? Are people not buying comics anymore? And I kind of feel like, our point, what I was telling some folks internally and other streamers was that, buying those books is kind of an elite thing now. As the economy is really tight, food is really expensive, housing is really expensive, comics are already really expensive. I know that when I was collecting, even just 6 years ago, I wasn't in, you're just trying to afford your daily pickups, right? Your weekly pickups at the comic shop. When you go to a convention and you walk in there with $500 in your pocket to spend, you don't want to spend it on one book, right? Like, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you kind of want to spread it around. You want to buy some dollar books, buy some $5-10 books, buy some exclusives that you think might pay for that stuff. I think that's the thing. I think people are looking for those smaller opportunities, and because it's honestly what people can afford.
Yeah, it's an elite group for sure. I mean, like
buying silver and gold. This is an expensive thing today. It is elite.
Yeah. It's funny. Some people we met a few people who've gone to conventions with like suitcases, or not suitcases, but like briefcases. And they were settling at like maybe 5 or 6 of their Golden Age stuff. And it was like maybe $30,000-$40,000 worth of comics, maybe more, like in there.
Like this is 10 grand, this is 5 grand, this is 20 grand. And it's like,
but they would come to sell it to the retailers at the con, which I didn't realize that you could do. Like it was a consumer, like someone like us going and selling to like one of the retailers there and saying, hey, do you want to buy this? Because they're always they're always shopping for stuff too.
Yeah. There are keys, like, one was a Hulk 181, and you could sell Hulk 181 every day, all day long. Yeah. Because it's a book that everyone's going to want. But even that book, like, you still have to have disposable income to afford that book, or you work your way up by selling books that you find or buy, trading your way up to it. Yeah.
Basically, you got to punch a lot of cows. Is what you're saying.
Got to punch your cat. You got to punch some cows on the way up.
And no, Chad, I can't read. I don't know if I can read your comment, but funny, made me
That's
chuckle.
Ridiculous. Donkeys can't punch.
Yeah, they don't even have fists. Yeah. Some people.
It's Chad. So that was our take, is that, and they're wondering why San Diego Comic-Con people were just like, we were tracking the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. They were selling out left and right. And there were 500 and I think we tracked 541 exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was insane.
And that's the thing. You could like for that Sosa Mike G.I. Joe, right? The one that KRS had. Could have bought it for $20. Now it's selling for $200. like in terms of immediate return, you know, that's immediate money. Granted, it's a bigger gamble because not every book's going to pay off the same way. But that's where the, you know, the fun kind of is. At least it was fun for me. I'd rather, you know, go in there with $500 and buy a bunch of, you know, exclusives than one low grade key.
I agree.
But that's not everyone's different. I mean, if you're looking at this as an investor, that's not the smart way to do it, right? But I like playing around and having fun with it. Like I realized that, like, after I looked at my collection, I thought I was investing, and then I watch some of these big channels like Automatic Comics and Swaglass. I'm like, yeah, I'm not invested in comics.
that's like, I own a boat. I like going boating. And you see the big yacht go by. You're like, oh, I have a raft.
We're in two different comic book worlds here.
Yeah.
But you know, but that's the fun, is that this industry, you know, the one thing I'll say is it's the one industry where if you do it right, it's the one hobby that can pay for itself, in terms of, you buy a variant, it goes up in price, you sell it for $100, you bought it for 20, you then take that $80 and it pays for next week's sales, you know, and you only had to sell one book. That's actually how I did it for 15 years. I had never bought a single comic book with our combined shared income. I would find a book, and then I would sell that book, and I would sell maybe one thing a week. You know, and that book would then take care of that spending money.
As soon as I have time, I'm going to kind of do what JD's saying is, and like, I need to consolidate my collection, reinvest it in higher end books. I'd probably start doing some Silver Age stuff.
That is the way to do it, for sure. Yeah, as JD said. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, you know.
Well, the thing is, all the comics I had when I was a kid too, and I really don't want to sell them. Even though I've never looked at them, like half of them I haven't looked at it again.
Well, but even like, you realize, you know, a lot of the playing around this hobby is learning lots of lessons of what not to buy.
Yeah.
And now I look through a lot of stuff that I bought 10 years ago. I was like, oh, these are boxes of dumb purchases.
But you did it because you read the story. I've been, you know, it's been cool. I've been spending the last month like going through all my trade paperbacks and just reading them all. I'm actually starting on Ice Cream Man right now because it's Halloween time.
Oh yeah, I have the trades here. I keep meaning to go through and read all those, because I do like horror anthologies a lot. I was excited to have EC back. I've always loved Tales from the Crypt. You know, fun. I've always been attracted to pre-code horror. I mean, if I was going to buy anything, like, pre-code horror is one of the fastest growing. I mean, it's been growing for 5 years now. But
yeah. I mean, it's beautiful colors, very vibrant, super
amazing covers. Yeah, covers that even today you can't get done.
What would be before we move on though? Are we doing a giveaway today?
Yeah. So we got it's in there. Yep, there you go. So it's Transformers 10, the John Giang. I think it's BTC collectibles. So it is quite vibrant. Quite a vibrant cover. I think this is trending at about $50 right now.
Is that like, who is that? Is that Shockwave? Is that a Destructicon? Is that
oh man, I forget his name. Oh my god. Someone who knows Transformers better than I do can recall this dude's name.
Right.
John Giang's style is really kinetic. I would love to see him do a straightforward cover without that 3D effect. I would just love to see what it looks like. Devastator. Thank you everyone. Right, there's Brian. Thank you, Brian.
It's the Constructicons all getting together and forming Devastator, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the giveaway today. We'll give out the special little way to enter at the end, as we typically do, for those of you who watch all the time. And yeah, what do you want to do, Matt? Do you want to jump into some comic stuff? Do you want to talk about...
Yeah, you know, I was trying to think of what was going on this week. Probably the most exciting news for me was that She-Ra is getting a live action film here, you know, and I can't tell you how excited I am about that. As a long time Motu fan. Specifically, I have a soft spot for She-Ra.
Is it because you had a crush on her when you were younger? And
Oh,
probably still?
absolutely.
Fair enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, so like it was fun. Actually, right here, my first so Tawny Farr, my first commission, I actually sat down and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a commission now. Now that we own a comic book website, we should do get into the commission game. So I actually had her do a She-Ra, and I asked for like post transformation She-Ra. So like right after she just switched, where so you see a little magic
Not me.
swirl, all the magic swirl, the dust falling after she just transformed.
Did you specifically ask for the swirl?
I did. I said I want to see the dust kind of flying around after she just transformed. So this was what she just knocked it out. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah, Tahani did great. That's an awesome cover.
Yeah, and so like basically even like I want like she just pulled the sword down, right? She after lifting it up and the dust is swirling.
I bet you were that guy who liked it when Wonder Woman Linda Carter spun around and transformed.
That's probably my biggest crush in life. After like I guess women transforming into magical creatures.
We've learned.
Who knew?
This is actually like therapy for Matt. We're learning over the years.
But then oddly, half man, half robots. So that's my other. So
we don't judge at this channel, Matt. Whatever you're into, that's cool. So you're just Devastator guy.
The feel of steel. There you go. This has really gone off the rails.
Yeah. Happy Friday. We're going to LA Comic Con. I forgot to mention we're going to LA Comic Con this winter. So Matt and I are doing a panel Saturday at 12 o'clock. I think it's room 4063 at LA Convention Center. If any of you guys are there, come find us. Same thing. Give Matt a big hug without permission. And
we're walking around. We're 6'3", so we should, we're usually pretty easy to spot.
Funniest thing ever is Matt and I have known each other since like second grade, if not earlier, and we literally are the same size, same hairstyle, same everything, and devastating.
But I need a beard. I need to grow a beard and not wear glasses.
Well, I can wear glasses.
Hell of a pilgrimage from Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, you can skip LA Comic Con. It's an okay con. It's one of those cons. Well, it's nice that it's local, but it is one of those things where it's like a lot of the publishers don't go, don't show up. I think Aspen usually is one of the few that shows up. There's a few other. So there's not a lot of exclusives. I know. I did see that. Wanted Comics was offering a Do You Poo Dodgers Otani exclusive. So it was like Do You Poo as Otani. So if you're in a person in LA and you love Do You Poo, it's a perfect combination. That was one of the only exclusives that I kind of saw for the convention. So it's not really good hunting, but it is a fun place to dig for comics because, a lot of people are there. They usually have really good celebrity guests.
Yeah, well, because it's LA, right? No one has to go anywhere, and it's just
a little backstory. This used to be Stan Lee's comic book convention.
Really? I didn't know. Well, I know Silicon Valley is Steve Wozniak's one, but that has nothing to do with Stan Lee, so I take it all back.
Yeah, so this used to be like, I forget, it was Stanley Comic Con or something like that. And then it became LA Comic Con.
Yeah. But this is, they have, look, you got Michael J. Fox, you got Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. I would love to get stuff signed by the Back to the Future cast. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's expensive because like a lot of these celebrity autographs, they tend to be like $200 a person. So if you get a cast, you're looking at $1,000 in on a book.
Right. It's always funny. You always get weird celebrities and like it's cool. It's cool to see that people are still like super excited about it and stuff. But you always get like these. They're like, oh yeah, there's Punch from Chips. Huh? I haven't thought of Eric Estrada in a while. Oh, there's the soup Nazi guy from Seinfeld. Huh? Nice to meet you. I had a full conversation with the soup Nazi last time. It's actually we had an intern, and it's his uncle. It's his uncle, and so I ran up to him, and I was like, "Hey, your nephew's working."
So you're like, I know you.
Yeah, nice guy. He was selling soup ladles, but talk about cashing in on a.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta lean into it. As a celebrity, you gotta lean into your thing.
Yeah, fair enough. We should probably talk about comics too.
Yeah, here I'll jump. I'll share my screen here, and I don't even know where my mind wants to go.
You just channel it, Matt. You just tap into the comic aftermarket.
Yeah, I was trying to see. There was a pretty strong rumor of Amadeus Cho. It's actually not rumor. It's pretty much, it seems somewhat official, but the major sources haven't confirmed it. That the kid from Ghostbusters, the most recent ones, who played podcasts, he's going to be Amadeus Cho.
Oh, yeah. Really, that's cool. Isn't he?
And so the next question is, does that mean totally awesome Hulk one day, or are we just going to get a really smart kid for a little while, and then you leave? Maybe one day we'll get Young Avengers. I would love to see Young Avengers.
Don't start that rumor again.
I would just like Marvel to finish a thread. It's just they have all these open threads, and I think the only one they kind of closed was Loki, and that was like it. I could be wrong, but
yeah.
So just overlooking our top 10, Monsters is on fire still. I know Brian McClay's here. He gets the kudos for kind of mentioning it first on his channel, kind of highlighting the Kickstarter. We picked it up for our Kickstarter article. It was one of the first things we covered. You're drawn to it. A lot of those, after all this heat, like I think this book hit $150, but it's settled down to about $80 right now. Mm-hmm. None of the Kickstarters have showed up, the Kickstarter editions. So I'm itching to see what that would sell for today when one of those popped up. Some highlights: Sentry's creeping back, Supergirl's creeping back. We had a little misdirection with Blackheart here, where everyone thought Blackheart was going to be is the secret character that Aubrey Plaza is playing in Agatha all along. Turns out it's not true.
I hear it's Mephisto.
They've mentioned his name on the show.
Oh, so that's probably hotter than he's ever been. I mean, everyone's.
I mean, at least it's like he was promised for like 4 different Marvel properties.
Yeah.
So they've said his name, which I haven't heard a lot of people talking about. The fact that his name was mentioned, that's not nothing.
That ain't nothing. Yeah, you're right.
Nothing. But yeah, it could be misdirection.
Just so I remember, Mephisto's kind of like the devil character, trickster.
He is the devil. Yeah,
he's Marvel's is he devil. Brothers with Blackheart, or is it like, are they related?
No, Blackheart's his kid. Yeah. We know him most notably from Marvel's Super. What was it? The fighting game, the Marvel fighting game, right? When he was big, one of the larger characters in the game, throwing his little,
and he would disappear into a puddle and shoot out spikes and then come back.
Right. Yeah, that was probably my largest exposure to Blackheart. We have this gratuitous butt shot that's still going up for $100. There was something that was actually kind of notable. I'll go to it. We'll come back to this real quick.
Variant there.
So it was interesting. So we were watching this. We were talking about this book earlier. Actually, we have some insider facts that you'll only get here because we talked to Boom about it. So this is Suspiria. Suspiria. She's an awesome artist. If you're not following her, her stuff is fantastic. We were following this on FOC. And we were following it on New Comic Book Day. It was on our day after Wednesday. We were like, hey, watch this book. There was only one sale of this $56. And that was in July. So we're talking, this was a pre-order from 3 months ago. And there hasn't been a single sale since. But then this past week, I think like Monday, a sale popped up asking for $799 for their copy.
Outlier.
Well, I mean, no, it didn't sell. The sale was up, and then someone pulled it. So most likely, it was sold privately.
And that's the 1 in 25.
What's that?
That's just the 1 in 25.
The 1 in 20. But here's the inside information. What's interesting about this book? So I asked Boom about it. I was like, "Hey, this book is like going crazy, or everyone's clamoring for it. What's the deal with it?" They're like, there are less than 100 copies of this, definitively, between what was ordered and then creator comps. Literally less than 100, and it could be even
Can you blow up the image?
Yeah.
No, that's pretty.
So it is very rare, and I heard that it's like the copies that got out to stores directly is much less. So how many people have these in hands? It's very, very small. I'm still surprised that not a single copy has come to market, but that sale was interesting, and then it went away. I was disappointed because I was really hoping for a new sale to hit this.
Well, that's the tricky thing with cover price in terms of we aggregate all these sales data and to tell you what it's worth. And then if it's a comic with really low print run, it's probably not going to hit a lot of unless it's like a ridiculous growth or, percent growth. It doesn't have the volume to actually make it on some of our lists.
Absolutely. Sometimes rarity hurts a book because you need traction to establish a fair market value and to retain a fair market value. If a book only pops up once every 2 years, you don't know, that fair market value might not be in the same spot, less or more, or people might not realize what that sale is, and they might just throw it up for $20. It sells for $20, and that's the last copy you see for another couple of years. It happens all the time, and it is one of those things where, if you have a book that's kind of at a print run of less than 75, I want to say, definitely less than 50, it gets really hard to have a fair market value established for that book, short or long term. Yeah. What was interesting is they brought up a whole lot of conversations around, like, should you be paying attention to like some of these independent later issues, higher incentive ratios, especially if it's a gorgeous cover. And we were talking about this Karen Darboe cover, which was also really nice. Wow. And we were theorizing that it's probably just as low. But right now, a copy sold for $12. I think there's one copy for $16.49. So we were talking about that earlier this week. And here's another one for My Comic Shop. You could buy it on their site for probably probably $9.99. $11.99. There you go. So if that's a very fine then. There are a little, like, again, I don't know what these books will do. Like, there's no guarantee, but it is kind of like if you're into this artist and you want it, grab it now before it'll be gone for months. But again, fair market value will be very hard to establish on books like this. That's the downside to having a book that rare.
One of the things that I think we were talking about is creating a list. We have the rare comic bucket on the homepage. But we're trying to find a programmatic way to print run's an elusive beast to hunt, right? We never really know print runs unless they explicitly say it, because it's
right.
There's all these different things around it. But
it's establishing a rule around what does rare mean? Because if there are some books that don't come up for sale with large print runs because no one wants it, right? Like if it's a middle run book and it just doesn't mean it's not rare because it didn't publish. Just it sells for $1.50. No one's looking for it. Yeah. So how to establish the rules around rarity is something we have to figure out. Yeah. Which is interesting when you look at this book, which is another Boom title. I think it was Boom. Is it Boom? Yeah, it's Boom. This was another title. It's a one per store, so it's a little more accessible than, say, the Suspiria, than the Profane one, but because more copies, it's just rare enough that it's like, but there's enough copies out there that are circulating, which helped this hit $63, $92 just a couple days ago. This is the difference between a book that has something moving in the back in the aftermarket that has helped establish that fair market value. So
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, yeah, there's so many cool little nuances of comics, and I don't know. There's FOMO and
Brian
stuff.
has a good point. Go by the overshoot rules of rarity. Yeah, we could. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Lost my train of thought.
Sorry,
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, this was the other thing was like I'm a big fan of errors and recalls. So this one had what was it? Labeled as cover A on the back.
Yeah.
Like that it's selling for $13-15. These type of errors never do well long term. they're instant, like they go down really fast because the market kind of just forgets about them.
Yeah, it's not too sensational of an error. It's not like a spoiler or something. It's just like, oh, on the back they misprinted something. Some graphic designer forgot to hit copy paste or whatever.
Absolutely. And there was another, let's see if I can, in our day after Wednesday here, there was another error, which we had a whole conversation about internally. This was the stuff that's trending this week. So this X-Men 1 Elizabeth Torque error. So what was interesting to me, so the typical, we actually talked about this last week, where the barcode usually reads, okay, it's 00517. Typically, that means issue 5. This is usually the variant number, so cover 1, and then the printing is usually, and this says 7th print. But it was pointed out to me by our internal integrity people, or data integrity team, that Marvel has been doing this for a year, where they switched these two numbers. So now the incentive ratio goes last. The cover number goes last.
Man, life would be so much easier if there was like some sort of stability in how people a process that everyone followed, because it's like chasing cats.
So that was new information to me. I didn't know that. And so people are saying like the barcode's been wrong, but the barcode's right. What's wrong is this issue number up here. So it says X-Men number 1 when it's X-Men number 5. So that's the error right there. It's a little more substantial than the last one, right? It's a difference of it's on the back cover and it says cover A, where this is a totally wrong issue number. But the problem is there's no recall. They're not. I don't think they're replacing it. So this one could have a little bit more longevity just because it's slightly more substantial. But again, you got to always be very wary of errors. Like I always say, if you can get in at cover price or a little bit above, don't go more than that, because they're super volatile. Especially since I've been collecting them I know exactly how they operate.
And by the way, just to call out again, you see that ad there, the TMNT. Be sure to click on that when you go to cover price. Go to the Kickstarter, see what it's all about. Really cool group of people putting on documentaries, never before behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Just want to call that out real quick.
Yeah, we talked about that last week too. We did some highlights. Just a fun. What's cool about it is that you can do they actually did the prototypes for the replica, the figure, the Eastman and Laird figures, which are honestly, I think I want to go for those, just because to have this style of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is really cool. Actually, I kind of want to go to. If you can go to the website for this or go to the Kickstarter, they have all these little details. Like they have 4 turtles crawling all over them, and like there's all these little elements of like kind of like inside information, or just a little to their contributions to to this evergreen brand. But the highlight is one of the add-ons is an original comic book, I think through IDW,
Right.
Which is always like, these really obscure oddities, as we learned from the Mark Spears Monsters thing. There's lots of opportunities in Kickstarters, especially if you're a fan of this stuff. Like there's so much room in terms of new comics, for these to go up, not just go up in value, but they're just fun collectibles. Anyway, we talked about this.
I posted the link in our the thing here. So if you guys want
to jump back into last week, if you want to go into a little bit more.
Cool.
Those are some of the highlights of the top 10, at least our takeaways. In terms of other content, we have the day after Wednesday this week. These were the covers that are moving. These were we thought were some of the covers to watch. Crow covers seem to do really well long term, and I mean 10, 15 years. So you got to have a little bit of patience with this stuff.
I plan on being around.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you're going to be around for the next 15 years, go for it.
And you want that $20 bump.
This is this is selling for ratio. Like
cool.
I like Peach, but at the same time, it's like I feel like Peach can either be really good or just okay.
I am gonna maybe say controversial stuff, but it's beginning the shininess is beginning to wane on me. I'm like, it's kind of the
she's on, she's good. Like she can deliver some really amazing covers. I think she's just gets a little overtaxed.
That's true. She was on everything for a second there, so maybe she's too much. Before you go on, I'm going to put up the giveaway hashtag. If you want to win the amazing Devastator by John Gang, what's his first name?
John Gang.
Yeah, John Gang.
Yep.
Type in hashtag gang.
Ben just texted me. Here's Ben. We got. Can we get a hat? He texted me. Yes, you can get a hat, Ben. I'll send you a hat.
Come to LA Comic Con. We'll give you a hat.
The other kind of thing was I didn't realize this was Hype Street. This 1 in 100 had 3 covers, which I didn't realize until yesterday. I guess I should have been on it more and paid attention to it until I was writing this. So there's actually a secret variant to the 1 in 100, which has the standard logo. So it has this Hyde Street logo on it.
Right.
Apparently that is harder to find than the regular one. And then there was a thank you gold version. That was a bad image. We need a better image than that. And then there's a gold logo version for the thank you, for the homage. Now I do love this cover. I think 3 versions does hurt its overall value long term, but at the same time, granted, this one's going to be much harder to find because it's not one per store. It's those that qualified for it, which means the shops that paid or bought into 100 copies of High Street #1. That's not going to be everyone. Right. But at the same time, so the 1 in 100 and this is there's still the 3 of them are kind of rare. And I do think the 3 of them, by having 3 different covers, it does take down that overall availability, right?
Right.
Of finding stuff.
It's fun. It's fun that I love the little subtle differences. It kind of makes you pay attention and makes the hunt even more fun. This cover
that's a hard chase. That's a hard secret, a 1 in 100, because it's not like you can flip through a stack at your shop, right?
Good thing you can come to Cover Price and see that it's a 1 in 100. Thank you. Boom.
Sorry, go for it, John.
I was saying to Rudy, I got your email. I'm sorry I haven't responded, but I got it. So we'll be shipping that out to you probably next week because he won last week. So we got your stuff. Thank you, sir.
Other than that, this was the one I think actually McClay was talking about this on his show too. This is speaking of Mark Spears, like how gorgeous is the Spawn cover.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, again, Spawn has a lot of long-term potential. There's a lot of people who go back to the well for Spawn books, and this is, for me, this is one of my favorite covers of the year already, and it's just the A cover.
That is gorgeous.
And I said, man, does this need a glow in the dark version of this cover? It'd be like this whole part glowing in the dark. That would be nice.
We haven't seen in comics yet is LED. Like, imagine if his eyes just glowed. I mean, it'd be like one of those horrible birthday cards that open up and sing to you.
And then the battery eats away at the comic slowly.
The acid in the battery or whatever. Yeah.
It would have to be like solar generated, but then you would still have to have some battery component to it.
Or you opening it and closing it actually pumps the generator. Okay, we're over engineering it. Never mind.
Last Boy Scout said, we're giving away NYCC exclusives. I can happily donate one of my NYCC exclusives for the giveaway. What are you doing? The one thing we are looking for is kind of like the harder to find stuff. You know, we're trying to get like any panel giveaways, things that will be a little challenging for anyone to find at the con, while also trying to hit everyone up. Like one publisher asked if they could just do a takeover of the giveaway and do all of them. I said, well, we're trying to do a splattering. We're trying to promote everyone that we can. So in terms of that spirit, yeah, absolutely. Anyone who wants to participate. Yeah.
Reach out to Matt at coverprice.com. And he'll work with you to do it, because Matt's doing all the sourcing and all that. So
that's awesome. I'm trying to find is a lot of people are like, so well, we haven't got the books back from the printer. I do know that Ghost Machine has given us one fun book that I'm excited about. They're giving us a metal version. It's NYCC exclusive. It's only available during the signing, so it's limited to 100 copies. A metal version signed by all the creators, including Jeff Johns.
That's cool. That's
yeah. So they're giving us a copy of that. So that's going to be one of the things we're giving away.
Nice.
So that's fun. Other than that, you know, those were kind of some of the highlights of the day after Wednesday there.
Love it. Don't forget, guys, type in #gang into the chat to be entered in the giveaway. We got about 18 people, but we got 38 people watching.
Yeah, man, we like ran through our time. Granted, it doesn't help being like 10 minutes late, but you know,
15. I exaggerate, Matt D.
Yeah, I like to shorten how much time I took. Some highlights for the Shaker Report. You know, just read it at your leisure. We have to like at least touch upon our graphic that we use in the thumbnail, and so like here's the book that we showed in the thumbnail. Just fun stuff. Like this was an acclaimed comic book that came with you know, that was based off the Super Nintendo game. Man, it's just like it was a free book. Again, it was like a reminder, don't throw away your free comics. You know, like I can't tell you, I think I mentioned it a couple shows ago when they were giving away those Kentucky Fried Chicken DC books.
Yeah,
they were scattered on the ground. Like there were so many copies just everywhere. Like you could have probably, you know, picked up a stack. And now they sell for $100 a piece, you know, and 9.8s are so hard to find. Just again, and especially if it's a mail-in or it comes with something, especially those like package books, man, those are great long-term keepers for sure.
It's so funny because they're always like, you never are ready for them. Like you go to the movie premiere and they hand you a comic book and you're like, oh,
right, you're like, you need a bag and board, and you're like, how am I now you're stressed out about protecting
the entire time. It ruins your night.
It does. It's so stressful. It is.
You're just holding it like this the entire time during a movie.
Keep the popcorn away.
I don't want any soda.
Now I can't eat any popcorn. It's like a curse. It's like a curse for like comic book collectors.
It is a curse. Damn it! Why?
Why, God? Why? Why did good things happen? Why did bad things happen to good people? Some other highlights. What else? I was really excited to see this Duke Nukem Balls of Steel. This is a really hard book to find. Read about it more. Friday the 13th book that was trending. I know a lot of people covered this week because we actually added it on I wanted to cover it last week, but we ran out of time. This is the first appearance of Cherry Pop-Tart. Not on the cover, obviously. We had some fun with this one this week because not only was this on our Shakers, but we had it as an Art Adams cover, and then people were like, "No, it's not Art Adams. It's actually Salva Espin." And then it was investigating, okay, what is it? And they both did it. So it says Espin and Adams right there. So it was a collab cover. So
I like the argument when someone goes, they disagree with us, and we're like, but the name is on the cover. They signed it.
So I went to Diamond and I looked up, and they did have it as Espen as the cover artist, but I can't find anything on this book in terms of what was collabed or not. This looks very Art Evans to me, the Hulk himself. This looks very Espen-ish, and then the background looks very Espen-ish. So
and
that's my guess, is that
it really poses the question, why doesn't the Hulk wear more capes? And why don't people in general?
he does look really good. Can you imagine a vampire Hulk? There's a threat.
You don't want to see that.
Yeah.
No.
We had this. This was interesting. It's the first sale we've ever tracked for this illustrated stories of the operas. If you guys are into operatic comics from 1943, read about that one.
That was interesting. Oh wait, this one's even more cooler. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, this was kind of my favorite book of the week. Was this LCD? They got sued by Starbucks for using this, not because of the comic book, but because the T-shirts and the posters were like a whole business for this creator, who is what is it? Kieran Dwyer. Yeah, so like he was making tons of money off of just this logo, or at least so we hear, because it was just good on a T-shirt. Like you can probably find it like Hot Topic, right? And they sued them for making money off of this. Basically, their logo.
Major brands don't like being called consumer whores.
Well, it's funny because they did all this comic gimmicky stuff, like not an official Star Wars tie-in. Never was only 25 cents, $2.95. Like they have pending first appearances and associate. Like it's just potential turd productions. Like they really leaned into like children over 18, which is funny. It's just a fun book. And then there was they showed it on the Shaker Show last night, but after he lost the lawsuit, he did this book in response. He did a second print where he was like free speeches for the rich. So he was like free thinking adults only. So yeah, he was a little ticked off at that.
Yeah, I bet.
So,
it's crazy.
So really, and we haven't even seen a sale for that one. So it's just interesting. Some of these, this was trending at like $100, ungraded.
It's a cool comic, but
yeah, these are little things you find in the dollar bins. Like I had never seen this Simpsons comic, and I went digging through. I went back to 2015 in terms of sales in our sales archive, see if we missed anything, and I could only find three sales over time. I know that there's 3 listed right now, but they're very expensive. And what did this sell for? It was $150 raw, which is the highest we've tracked it for. Again, San Diego Simpsons comics, this probably was either free or it was like $10.
Crazy. Yeah. It's gotta always get your hands ready and your eyes ready. And we're going over it a little bit.
I just had to touch upon there. And there's my girl. There's Shira.
Real quick, thanks, James. That's a nice thing to say. Like that's what we're trying to do. Is just we like talking comics. Hopefully, some of it's interesting to you guys, and hopefully, we've been doing this now like 8 years with Cover Price, and it's like we just come across so much crazy stuff. So,
a lot of the fun for me is just digging and finding cool stuff. This is the best advice that I could possibly give. If you like a cover, if you like a book, there's someone else that will also like that cover and like that book. So if you trust your instincts and you pick up something that you like and seems interesting to you, a lot of that stuff will eventually go up because other people will find it. A lot of people haven't seen some of this stuff, and then when you say it and show it, they're like, "I want that too." And then you're not doing it to hype it up. You're doing it just because. This happened in the early CBSI days on G+. I always talk about our old CBSI days. But it was like a time of just sharing all these. That's how we discovered Art Germ. We discovered Matina. Oh, sorry, Matina. Perillo. And, all these really even Adam Hughes. I don't think I paid attention to Adam Hughes more than I did in 2014. And even Campbell, a lot of these artists just skyrocketed in popularity just because it was like, hey, I like this cover, I love it too, and it just creates this natural demand because everyone just wants to have a copy. That's the best way to try. If you're out digging and looking for stuff, if you like something and you're comfortable with the price, buy it, tuck it away. If there's an opportunity to sell, if you don't care about it, that if you buy a book and you've had it, be comfortable selling that book, because you'll be able to buy more books with that money.
If it makes you happy. If it makes you happy.
Yeah. Let's
Matt,
get the gang going.
I love how you now look like a Phil Collins CD cover or somebody.
Oh, yeah, as it gets darker.
Just a face with illuminating.
I was gonna say Bohemian Rhapsody album.
Oh yeah, there you go. You look like something's gonna come out of your computer and kill you. You look like you're watching the Ring video.
Here, let's see if this helps.
So be sure to type in hashtag gang if you want to enter. We got 21 people. Here we go.
Love what you collect what you love. Yes. And if that means FOMO, that's okay. Like, the thing is, FOMO's not bad. Like, if FOMO gets you into shops, just don't buy FOMO on eBay. Like, go to your shop.
Don't expect to make money off of it. Just do it because you enjoy it. You love it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go. Drawing.
Gang me up, baby. And I'm going to be mailing stuff out on Monday for everyone who I owe stuff to.
All right, Derek. Congratulations.
I don't know if Derek has.
I don't know.
Derek has showed up to like every show. So
it's about time you won, is what we're saying. Yeah, congrats. Be sure to reach out to me or Matt, john@coverprice.com or matt@coverprice.com. And Derek, give us your shipping address. And if you get it to us before this weekend, Matt will ship it next week, and you won't have to wait another 2 weeks.
and here we go. I got to go put this. Brian McClay says, OG CBSI for life. I kind of feel like it was our comic book high school or college days. Because when we signed up for like this little G+ group, it was like 50 people, right? And then it just blew up to, I think by the time it closed down, it was in the mid like 30 to like 30,000 or something like that. It was large.
Without like a community like that, we wouldn't have started Cover Price. We wouldn't have been like so involved in just everything comics and like brought me back into it. Like there's so many, it's a cool, it was a great community.
And I think back, like I did a lot of my I speculated mostly in like 2014 to 2016. And like, I think like, I don't spec as much. I don't spec at all anymore. But like those years was like respect on Dr. Aphra. It was Ironheart. It was Spider-Gwen. Miles is taken off. Like all those spec books, I would say a good chunk of them did actually pretty well. At least from the sense of I bought them for Cover Price at the time. Mm-hmm. So there, again, time matters so much in collecting. So when people are saying, "Oh, this is going to go down," sure, it usually does, but sometimes they go way back up. So again, it goes back to if you believe in a character, you like a cover. If you like that stuff, there's a very good chance that someone else does, especially Kevin Feige or any other creator. But don't buy them for that reason.
Well said. Unless you can read people's mind, unless you're a telepath, probably shouldn't buy them. Any last words? I swear,
cover collectors right now. Cover collectors is where people are back to buying the cover, which is why we're seeing the surge in some of these cover buys lately. So I kind of like that. I think that market's fun, buying for the cover. It just moves a lot. There's a lot more opportunities in that space than first appearance.
It shifts it to more fine art than the comic side of it, but I like it. Fine. It is. I'm saying it shifts it. It shifts the interest to like, ooh, this cover's rare and the rarity of it and the collectability of it. Whereas the story and stuff is a little bit different. But yeah, I agree. It's all part of the art. It's all part of the hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's what we do. That's what we're doing
word
here.
For you, Matt. How are you gonna say goodbye to everybody?
That's it. That was my long goodbye. So see you guys.
Matt holds on to your hand when you're shaking it for a long time.
I do, and then I caress it a little bit, and
but he does no touching. Don't forget.
You have a good day.
No touching.
Yeah,
Yeah. So thank you guys for spending your Friday with us. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're in LA and you feel like coming to LA Comic-Con and you feel like going to a panel and you happen to be there on a Saturday at 12 o'clock, come by, say hi to us. We'll give you t-shirts and compliments and stuff.
Compliments. You
Free
look nice.
compliments. You look nice. And on that note, remember, keep your comics covered. I don't know. Bye.
Yeah, we need a good catchphrase, but at the same time, it's so cringy.
I like keep comics covered. Yeah.
T-shirt. Yes, Gabe, reach out to John. John's got them all. So yell at him. I don't have them anymore.
I got a bag of t-shirts right here, literally right next to me.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, guys. Talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
For the entire crew, this is T-Ball saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.